Tates, Mames streben, sehr Kinder auszugeben, weil das ist die größte Freude bei sie.
Bonsoir et bienvenue sur Yiddish Heint, l'émission bimensuelle de la Maison de la Culture Yiddish, avec moi, Shahar Fineberg.
Geht der Tate zu der Klezmer geschrien.
Ce soir, notre dernière émission new-yorkaise pour la saison. Je suis allé à la rencontre de Shmully Blesofsky, chantre et comédien, figure de la vie juive de New York, et notamment de son quartier Crown Heights. Notre entretien devient une balade quand Shmully propose de me faire visiter son quartier. Partons donc à Brooklyn, à Crown Heights, dans ces rues pleines d'une vie juive lors de cette soirée de Lag BaOmer, lourde de conséquences, par ailleurs, pour la vie. Bonne balade et l'chaim.
Anyway, okay, yeah, so Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Established in 1916, came from Crow Hill to Crown Heights. Used to be an international neighborhood. All the people made money in Brooklyn, in the Lower East Side and in the city, lived in this beautiful neighborhood. It was Eastern Parkway. So Eastern Parkway cuts through the neighborhood. This is the Jewish area called 770 Eastern Parkway.
770 Eastern Parkway, l'adresse de la synagogue Chabad, le centre mondial du mouvement Lubavitch.
Center of the neighborhood, 770 Eastern Parkway, where when I was a kid, used to be a lot of pushing there to see the Rebbe. So there would be a lot of fighting and pushing to see the Rebbe, and then we're going to go in and check it out because everyone wants to see 770. You know, there's upstairs and downstairs.
Shmully nous raconte que le bâtiment est divisé entre ceux d'en haut et ceux d'en bas. En haut, l'establishment, en bas, les rebelles, qui essayent de redéfinir le mouvement Chabad.
Downstairs would be messianic, and upstairs would be sort of traditional. Anyway, so we're walking downstairs to 770. Okay, beautiful. We're now inside the synagogue. Wish you could see it. While you're looking around, you're seeing it. So let's start. The Rebbe used to daven right there. Used to lead services down there in the front to the right. And that would be on a regular morning. And on Shabbos morning, I was a kid. I was right next to where the Rebbe would be. And then when the Rebbe's Farbrengt, it would right here. Thousands of people. It's the same table that the Rebbe Farbrengt with. When I was a kid, I was four rows behind that beam right there. Yeah.
You're Ari's, right?
Yeah.
It's your first time like in 10 years.
Many years. The truth is, I did come back for Simchas Torah, and I got some memories from when I was a kid. And you know what's interesting about the memories of Simchas Torah, by the way? The sound of the footsteps. That sound. That's part of the memory of Simchas Torah, by the way. So when I started being there, I started like living. It was like an acid trip. I started reliving being there. It was really, really cool. Or not cool, but like sad.
Weil dort haben die ganze Tummel in the background. Ja. Okay, was willst du reden, was willst du fragen, was willst du wissen?
Kannst du reden ein bisschen wegen 770 und was geschieht sich dort?
Ja, warte. Is I say, the 770s...
Hey.
Oh, wir reden in Yiddish.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Ja. Die kennst du reden in Yiddish? 770 hatten sich zwei Sachen. Von einer Seite, das ist voll von Historie. Und von zweiten Seite ist das ein lebendiger Ort. Dort wird auch Lichtigkeit, eine Lebendigkeit für die ganze Welt.
Le 770 n'est pas un musée, mais un lebendiger Weiter, une suite vivante. Et la tension entre le passé et sa suite, c'est toute l'histoire de Yiddishkeit, selon notre ami.
Nee, ik dacht, zit hem woord. Als een mol is een molik. Wist je wat een molik? Een molik is... Ik zit in Chabad, was is dat it's a whole other thing. It explains that a molik is the greatest clippus.
Amol est un molek. Le autrefois, c'est un molek. Et le molek, c'était une divinité cananéenne qui réclamait le sacrifice des enfants.
Have a word. As a mol is a molik. If you look at just the history, als man guckt auf die Story, auf zu lernen, auf weiter, ist das eine gute Sache. Aber man guckt auf den Stamm, auf zu haben eine molige Sache, ist das ein molik.
Autrement, et moins joliment dit, le passéisme est le plus grand ennemi du Yiddishkeit.
Ich habe einen Chaver, ist alt behavend in Jigen. Jigen bin ich mehr behavend. Hast du mal gehört?
Jigen?
Ja.
Der Komiker.
Der Witze.
Der Witzer, ja.
Shimon Jigen, ja.
Und hat gekannt?
Nee, nicht gekannt, aber kennt alle Schreden.
Okay.
Kennt die Schreden.
Schön. Oh,
Durchgelernt alle Shalom Aleichem mit Menchas Svarim. Efter will ich ihm rufen, efter wird er können.
You speak good Yiddish. It's good to listen, yeah. You speak like your father, it's really cute. I'm sorry, I know you have your own identity.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, you also like being identified as your father's son, no? Maybe you don't. You like being associated with Shahar Blesofsky?
Associated with Shahar Blesofsky.
Yeah, where are you? Oh, come to the Tashlach right now.
What's up?
Come, Shalom. Come to the Tashlach. No, warte mal, kommt.
All right.
No, I have a friend that's very into the Yiddish culture. He knows all the Shalom Aleichems and the
So come, let him walk and talk with us.
Oh, he's coming. I told him to come to the... Oh, there's her. Shulam, come here.
Come, we'll walk.
Shulam.
Oh, I want artists. Pasta.
What's your name again?
Shahar
Fineberg. Shahar Fineberg has a radio show in France, all about Yiddish culture and Yiddish. And
Shalom, what's your name? Shalom?
Popper.
Awesome.
À la flûte, Sholem Popper, l'ami qui lit aussi des textes non religieux.
Versteht sich.
Mendele und Sholem Aleichem.
Mendel habe ich weniger gelernt. Shalom Aleichem habe ich gelernt afule. Ich lerne Chaim gerade lerne ich gerade afule. Und verschiedene andere. Ja, nicht als viel seine Poeten, mehr seine Bücher, seine Prose, wie man sagt.
Shalom. Bring her eens een sigaret. Du regent?
Ja.
Warte.
Quelle est sa perspective comme un homme religieux sur la littérature séculaire laïque?
Es ist sehr interessant, Tage zu bemerken, weil Rauf von der jüdischen Literatur hat rausgewachsen von der frommen Welt, von der religiösen Welt. Und es ist sehr schwer zu verstehen, Shalom Aleichem, viele, eben ist nicht behaftet in der frommen Welt. Und wer hat noch Chaim gerade, was das beklallt in der yeshivischen Welt?
Il dit, le yiddish se forme à partir du yiddishkeit. Et même si tous les écrivains n'étaient pas pieux,
Yiddish wächst heraus von Yiddischkeit. Und Yiddish ist stark verknüpft und verbunden mit Yiddischkeit. Eng verbunden mit Yiddischkeit. Der Fall kann sein sehr interessant, davke für eine religiöse Nid.
c'est d'autant plus intéressant pour un homme religieux de les lire.
Oh, Rega, Reb Shachar. You heard of dual language?
No.
That's
You know that they just put out in Yiddish?
I know. No,
He's the one that translated.
Ich gearbeitet auf dem.
Really?
Well, let's go.
He was one of the 4 people who translated
With
the...
me,
Ja.
So yeah.
Nu, Sie kannst du reden wegen dem?
Ich soll reden auf Englisch, auf Yiddish. Ja, gearbeitet auf dem. Fragt Scheile, soll ich answeren.
Il se trouve que Sholem Popper a travaillé sur l'usage des dialectes pour l'application Duolingo, qui vient de lancer son premier cours pour l'apprentissage du Yiddish.
Was habe ich getan? Wir haben gehabt, es gewesen von allen größten Dialekten, heißt es, ich von der Minna red auf dem ukrainischen Dialekt, und wir haben gehabt andere, was reden im pälisch-ungarischen Dialekt, und ich rede im litwischen Dialekt. Und zusammen, also es soll nicht klingen zu fremd, für keinem nicht. Ich habe mich gefragt, ihr sagt das, wie er Punkt, wie er genug sagt ihr, also es soll keinem nicht klingen fremd.
Un travail sur les dialectes pour que le yiddish ne sonne pas étranger à qui que ce soit. Je lui pose une question sur la réception de ce cours.
Der Abruf ist sehr schöner, sehr gehört Sache Feedback, wie man sagt. Der Abruf ist sehr schöner, guter.
Et que pense-t-il du fait que des non-juifs aussi veulent apprendre le yiddish?
Ist, wie ich habe früher gesagt, ist erstens Yiddish ist tief eingewurzelt in Yiddischkeit. Aber von der anderen Seite ist nicht, es kann sein, dass nicht etwas redet Yiddish. Wir haben gehabt da in Kranheit, wir haben gehabt etliche, was haben geredet, sehr guten Yiddish. Und adayem ich glaube, dass für eine Sache nicht in was reden, sehr guten Yiddish. Ich meine, ich bin gleichgültig zu dem. Nicht, ich will es und nicht zerrt mich.
Le yiddish est profondément mêlé de yiddishkeit. Pour moi, ce terme Yiddishkeit, avant de venir ici ce soir, désignait une culture, un bagage culturel, linguistique, souvent nostalgique des yiddishisants. Ici, le terme semble vouloir dire quelque chose d'autre, quelque chose qui se rapprocherait plutôt du judaïsme ou du fait d'être juif dans les faits, le yiddish qui émerge de la pratique d'être juif. Cela dit, pas de problème et même un vif intérêt pour tous ceux qui sont en dehors de cette pratique du Yiddishkeit.
So, I wish I could talk in Yiddish. I wish I spoke Yiddish. That would be nice. I could just copy my grandfather. Der Letzt, für Feuer, für Wasser. Du sagst, Allah, was ist nicht Emmes. Excuse me. So that's one grandfather. But the other grandfather would say, welche Pascha wernst du? Vayira. Vayira? No, Vayira. Pikude. Hayat mit Bener. So I could just copy the grandparents speaking Yiddish, but I wish I could be able to speak Yiddish fluently like they did. Maybe someday I will. It'll be really nice. It's a far-off dream. I mean, yeah, it's good stuff. I have the basics of it, but I don't have the basics of it. I'm annoyed because Ricky, who's someone I used to sing with, she spoke Yiddish fluently, except she spoke With Yiddish is also very interesting because if you speak a different Yiddish than people, it's like you're a different race or a different whatever, different existence, a different country. They don't really like each other when you speak a different Yiddish. So it's kind of annoying. So, but anyway, it's good stuff. I like the Lubavitch Yiddish, which is the Litvish Yiddish, and the Russian Yiddish, which is a good like geschwollene Yiddish, Reta Zoi.
Where are we at?
We're at a synagogue in Crown Heights called Chabad Yisrael. It's a forefront synagogue that balances modernity with tradition together. And they create events such as this event for Lag BaOmer for both men and women together. So it's kind of a revolutionary synagogue, and a lot of people from other neighborhoods come to pay $10 and get in.
Nous sommes à Chevra Avas Israël, une synagogue révolutionnaire selon Shmully, qui organise des événements mixtes entre hommes et femmes issus du milieu orthodoxe. Ce soir, le soir de Lag BaOmer, c'est une soirée de singles mingles, où les célibataires peuvent se rencontrer. Parmi les convives, Aviva Bogart, éducatrice et artiste de la performance, qui est à la recherche de son golem.
Yeah, I walked around Crown Heights looking for a golem because there's a golem of another artist, friend of mine, who's in California. Her Instagram is My Golem Is Here. You should really check her out. She's incredible. And anyways, my archetype or alter ego wanted to contact hers. So I did. And I told her, you know what, it would be so awesome if I started looking for you in the streets of Brooklyn, even though she's in LA. Because she was posting, my golem is missing. Her golem was missing. So I messaged her, maybe I can help you find him. Or maybe I can help you find her. Or them. I'm not sure.
That's a great question. What's the gender of a golem?
Her golem is genderless. My golem is definitely a man. Not my golem, but whatever my alter ego is. It is some form of a golem. It is related.
But I thought you were supposed to create a golem. Can you just find one, or did yours go missing?
You know what? I definitely created my golem. And it happened very slowly. First, I started off with basically making a town of papier-mâché Hasidic fish. And they were strung with hundreds of thousands of matzah balls that I made out of papier-mâché. And it was an installation. And then somehow I became a Hasidic fish. And then after I became a Hasidic fish, I became a Hasidic mime. And that turned into Rabbi Blesofsky.
Aviva donc s'est promenée autour de son quartier de Crown Heights à mettre des affiches à la recherche de son golem. Elle l'a fait déguisé comme un rabbin.
Makes perfect sense.
I think so. But I'll tell you, putting up posters in Crown Heights was a bit nerve-wracking because I have tremendous respect for this community. I grew up in this community. I've lived here more than half my life. But there's always a question of anti-Semitism, as everybody knows. And so people were checking me out and like eyeing me, wondering what the hell I was doing. And so I had to be very quick and just silent and stealthy. And I started just posting around town.
Un autre projet qu'Aviv a fait était avec Shmully. Ça s'appelait le fish dish, la table du poisson. L'idée était, ils voyageaient ensemble en compagnie mixte des hommes et des femmes pour chanter des chansons yiddish et juives.
What about the fish dish?
Yeah. Well, several years ago, and Aviva approached me, and anyway, Aviva wanted to create something called Fish Tish. I took some artists. Now, I had just moving back to Crown Heights, and I was re-engaging in my Judaism. Anyway, so I was starting to sing Jewish songs, and she was like, let's go on a traveling band called Fish Dish and sing these songs. I was like, hell yeah. So it was me and Ricky Rose and some other people. I think Levi was involved for a minute. And Baya was Sephora, right. And as he was here too, right. That's right. So we did it 4 or 5 times. We could have done it more, but some people dropped out for no reason. And it was Aviva's creation, so it was awesome. And we did it at the art show, at the Chabad house art show. What I really liked about Fish Dishes, though, is that it encouraged women to be able to sing publicly. That's a chance they didn't get. When I grew up in Crown Heights, I was able to sing at the Shabbos table. I was able to daven, lead services publicly many, like 10,000 times, I would say. My sister, who knows how to sing as well, was not able to do it once. I got high off of it 10,000 times. She never got high off of it once. I think it's very important for women who grew up Orthodox to be able to give a microphone and what do you call it? A stage, yes. So I think it's very important. And to sing Jewish songs or whatever songs they want to sing. To empower people to give them a voice is a very beautiful thing. And there's the Jewish law about women singing, but that's kind of ancient. That's already, we know that it's not pertinent to today. So.
La chanson des femmes, chose interdite par la halakha, mais selon Shmully, c'est une interprétation ancienne qui n'est plus valable de nos jours.
I think it's really interesting because I started off doing the project as a work around generational trauma, but not around gender. That wasn't really part of it. But that ended up, now that you're saying it, you're right. Like it really evolved into like a bit of a statement.
Oh, so that was interesting. Generational trauma, would you say that...
Ce projet qui a fini comme une scène pour les femmes juives à chanter a commencé comme un moyen de traiter le trauma générationnel.
But then you do the medicine with the Jews and you just so much heavier. You know? Was that your experience?
Well, I just think that in general, everybody has their own version of generational trauma, right? Like the African American community, and especially discriminated communities. But the difference is it manifests differently in different stories. So there's a very specific way that Jewish generational trauma manifests, and I think it manifests in a certain level of excessiveness and over the top, especially around gastronomical experiences. So just like needing to eat, really, like to like never feel satisfied. And like if you look at Jewish tables, there's like 3 types of fish and 2 types of chicken and 3 types of protein. And like that's not normal, you know?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not familiar with Jewish obsession. I am not familiar with Jewish obsessiveness. I'm not familiar with Jewish obsessiveness, especially around food. And especially, not just especially around food. It's not that the food that you're saying, it's what you're saying and why you're saying it. And I have no idea what you're talking about. So.
That's Shmully in a nutshell.
Why shouldn't I start a cult? It's 2021. Why wouldn't you want to start a cult?
La soirée continue. Et comme Shmully l'a indiqué, en effet, on trouve aussi d'autres gens venus d'autres coins du monde orthodoxe de New York. Je poursuis avec mon questionnement sur la lecture de textes yiddish.
Ich bin in Williamsburg. Bist du gewesen in Williamsburg? Aber es gewesen.
Es ist anders wie du.
Als gerät sie Menschen?
Ein bisschen, aber...
Menschen schwerer zu reden.
Sie sind schwerer dort wie du.
Schwerer.
Und sie lernst du Bücher auf Jiddisch, was sind nicht religiöse Texte, wie Le Moschel?
Ich persönlich ja, aber in Williamsburg es gibt nicht einen kann Jiddisch ist echt heimische. Viele ja, eine will lernen macht das behalten. Es ist nicht keine Sache, was, weil sind doch gemein, secular Menschen, Ja, secular Menschen.
Sind das interessante Sachen, Texte. Was sind geworden geschrieben euch in Amerika?
Ja.
Zum Beispiel
Grandi, ja.
Scholmasch,
Right, ja. Ja, aber die alle sind Menschen, die sind weggegangen. Und, jeder hat seine übergekocht, wenn er weggehen, hat gut nicht bleiben. Sie müssen an Tmimes.
Aber was meinst du, was ist weggegangen von
Ja, mein Sohn,
weggegangen von dem Stamm?
no, sagen wir uns fremd, uns observant. Ja. Ja, Chaim gerade, ja.
Aber es bleibt, die Texte bleiben.
Ja, ich meine, ja, warte, es darf bleiben. Aber ich sage, dass the reason, I mean, it's obvious, it's obvious. The reason for was ins Leben ist die Bücher, weil es da auch Romanen und es du auch Litzones von, von Jüdischkeit und von die Leiste,
Sie hast du gehört,
wir singen und andere.
Aber was ist die Siebe? Du hast gesagt, die Siebe ist obvious.
Was ist Romanen? Es ist geschrieben bei Menschen, die sind nicht religiös.
Aber obvious ist...
Und in der Sachlitzunas von religiösen Sachen. Und wie kann man lassen, Timimes die Jüngel einen Bashewe singen,
Okay. Wie ist die Siebe? Ich habe nicht gewusst.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. If a whole Williamsburg will read all these stuff,
Okay, the revolution.
it'll be a revolution, major. There is a revolution anyways, but...
Si tout Williamsburg se mettait à lire Bashevis Singer, ça serait encore plus une révolution que ça ne l'est aujourd'hui.
I mean, they get their sources from, from sources, Like they have, every week they have like the Yiddish Zeitung, I'm sure you know them. The Yid and the Zeitung and the Blatt, That's where they get their main intellectual stimulation. Yeah. That's what it is, yeah.
Derrière moi, une conversation sur les stoïciens, Marcus Aurelius, Sénèque, et sur la question si Dieu est présent ou absent dans ce monde. On arrive à mi-chemin, l'argument est déjà en cours. Ici une référence à la Gemara, comme quoi Dieu est nichter, absent, sous le nom de Yod-He Vav-He, le tétragramme, et il est niker, présent, sous le nom d'Adonai.
Nochtens sagt die Gemara, als Leukisch an die Nichter an die Nicker. Ze Shmi la Oilam, ze Zichri la Dordor. Shmi, ve Zichri is zwei andere Sachen. An die Nichter b'shem Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, an die Nicker b'shem Aleph Dal Nun Yud. Also das ist Lovai, wird sein Shmoi, Nichter und Nicker derselbe Sache. Das ist Hashem Echad, Shmoi Echad.
Nicker means that people know him like that?
Een leint de word.
Nicker, how kri.
Not
like how he's known.
Rashi zegt
so it means Nicker, I told you mean Nicker. Nicker means how he's known.
Zes mil oilam. Oilam is miloshen helam. Helam is behalten.
Yeah.
So was meint de Gemara? Da verstehen, was ist denn Nafkamina zwischen Hashem Havaya und Hashem Adnes? The Teretz is Pashat. Udin kann nur sein, die ganze Beginne von Adnes ist nur in als da a period. So darf haben zwei Sachen. Adnes kann nur sein auf der zweite Sache.
Adonai, le Seigneur, appartient au domaine de Adnes, de l'autorité. Mais l'autorité n'existe que par rapport à autre chose, donc Peired, séparation, deux mondes séparés pour Adonai.
Havaya, das ist a Hoye, das ist the Metzias, the existence.
Fabric.
Das ist
fabric.
Havaya,
Fabric of
as Heint lebt man in a Matzev, wie es guckt euch, als da zwei Sachen, da Plurality. Dualism. Man wohnt in Dualism. Aber Lasset Lovei wird nur sein, der Hakora, als ein Sache. Memela kommt euch so. In a Matze von Plurality, in a Matze von Dualism. Es kann sein eine Sache, was ist gut, und es kann sein eine Sache, was ist schlecht, was es ist nicht connected, es ist nicht mekuschen. Aber in a Matze von Achtes, in a Matze von Hoi, wie es als eine Sache, es ist nicht scheich, haben a Period zwischen Teuva und Ra. Es ist als eine Sache. Und Mele wird man nur machen, der Teuva mit. Es ist das im Schat, weil bei Yemuyi Hashem Echod und Shmoy Echod.
Adonai, Seigneur, sur quelque chose. Le tétragramme, Havoye, existence. Une situation différente, où tout sera non séparé, dans lequel plus de distinction, comme le bien ou le mal. Hassids.
Usually a name is just what you respond to. Here Shmully means that it's beginnes alakis. The name shows on the beginnes alakis. It's not just that he responds. It's not just a name. I don't know.
Well, the question is if God's name is actually like part of like this. Does he have a name from his side, or it's just that we call him that? But from his side, there's no such thing as a name.
There's no his side.
La question se pose sur le nom de Dieu du côté de chez Dieu, de son côté.
From our side, he has a his side. From his side, he has a his side. From our side, he has a his side.
So the Lubavitcher Rebbe called that what you're trying to describe. He said that's beginnes atzmus.
Beginnes what?
Atzmus.
Yeah, that's Kesser. We have Kesser.
Nobody said it's his chiddush. You don't find it before. No.
What's the big chiddush?
That there's something like atzmus that it's not a name. I don't know from where he takes it from. I mean,
it's obvious.
It is
it's
obvious
from a philosophical perspective.
Not obvious. No.
To me, it is. How could you define God, which is beyond? It's an infinite. It's ineffable.
He's the beginning. He's the creator. He's the beginning.
The Rambam in Mar Nevuchim already says that you can only say what God isn't. You can't say what God is. So how could God have a name?
I mean, he's the creator. Well, I have a kasha on the Rambam. He's the creator. He's the first. He's going to be the last.
He's not the first. He's not the first, because the first implies that there's a sequence.
Yes.
And he's really not the first. He always existed. So he's really not. He's relative to our world. He's the first, but he is not in essence the first.
Everything is relative to our world. Correct.
The Rambam. If you believe in negative theology, it means you can't actually say anything positive about God. And if that's the case, then God can't have a name. God can't have a name that we could talk about. Maybe there is an essence of God that could be described, but we can't describe it.
Une petite foule se forme autour de notre discussion. Et l'un des participants, un jeune, m'interpelle. Il me dit qu'il doit aller chercher son rebbe en voiture. Il est tard la nuit. Il aimerait bien que je vienne avec lui pour rencontrer ce rebbe, car celui-ci a créé ici dans le quartier un shir, un cours informel de Yiddish pour des jeunes qui voudraient approfondir ou même se relier avec cette langue.
In which capacity?
Every single Monday night, a group of guys, we get together here in Crown Heights in Brooklyn, New York, and we have a Yiddish share, it's called. It varies every week from either learning sichot from the Lubavitcher Rebbe in Yiddish to learning. This past week we did the etymology of Yiddish, comparison and different words, dikduk. I'm not sure if that's the Yiddish, that's the Hebrew, I know. But just learning the background and everything. Today, Yiddish, how it's very differently spoken in different Hasidic sects. So we spoke about that this past week. And
so what made you want to learn Yiddish?
The shir. Yeah. Well, in college I had a professor who spoke this, and I was really, she wasn't religious and anything, and I was really interested. I have a basic understanding, and it's like almost like a lost art. So I found these guys. They have like a weekly meetup. There's good food. There's usually a fire pit. There's usually good vibes. So I love it. I go every Monday night at 8 o'clock. I'm there, and it's open to. It's not really open, but I can get anyone in.
The man to come talk to.
Yeah. So it's here in Crown Heights. It's people's houses and backyards. We're very liberal. There's not too much structure involved.
Je pose encore une question, mais je vois que le jeune homme est pressé. Le Rebbe l'attend. Il insiste que je vienne rencontrer le Rebbe. On part le chercher.
What do you want to record?
Just about the Yiddish. Just to hear about the Yiddish.
Okay, so
yeah.
start recording.
Aber wir können reden auf Yiddish euch.
Ich will reden auf Yiddish. Ich rede gut Yiddish, da Yiddish. You like DC in this car, huh?
Yeah, we need it.
It's a muggy night tonight.
Yeah.
Hit a right there.
Okay.
You feel like make a right on the other street and I'll talk to him in Yiddish. You ready? Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Ich sage, uns Chevre von Aldia, wir haben eine Sache Chevre, was ein gewähnt Yeshiva. Make a right!
I am.
What are you doing there? Start recording again. And you relax. Drive slowly and don't get too crazy. So he can record it for 2-3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Starting?
Yep.
Uns Chevre von Aldia haben eine Sache Chevre, was man gelernt in Yeshivas, was man gerät zu sehen in Yiddish. Und einen Tag hat einer von den Chevre gerät zu mir und gesagt, lass mir anheben Maschinen Yiddish. Haben wir gesagt, mit wie vielen Chevre kann man lernen auf Yiddish? 1, 2? Sie waren 8, sie sind 9 Chevre. Und man lernt jede Montag bei Nacht als Sicher von Reben. Und man hat ein Bichel, was man redet wegen Yiddish. Und einmal guckt man nach Videoclip. Und danach gibt man nichts zu essen. Jeder eine ordnet, was will. Und einmal mache ich eine Voice Note. So laden ein die Chevre auf Yiddish. Und einmal da ein Clip. Macht das heimisch. Und der Nekude von der ganzen Sache ist, als die Chevre lernen sich ins Yiddish noch einmal, weil sie ihm das gedenkt von als Kind weiß an. Und ich bin 6, 7, 8 Jahre, 10 Jahre haben sie geredet Yiddish, aber vergessen. Jetzt breckt sich auf der Yiddish noch einmal.
Le cours s'est formé pour permettre aux jeunes de reprendre avec le Yiddish de leur enfance.
Right?
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem. That's basically my take on it.
Und was lernt ihr in
Man lernt das sicher von Reden auf Yiddish, auf der emisse alte Sort Yiddish.
Aber wir können tun das euch in 770, nein?
Sie tun das, wir tun das bei uns.
Das ist ein Mini 770?
Wir können sagen, es ist ein Ort für junge Chevre zu kommen und sich ausluften.
On lit les conversations du Rebbe, mais est-ce que vous lisez aussi d'autres textes yiddish?
This week we had that book Nasi brought a couple of times.
Well, Nissi had the book in different sayings.
Etymology.
Right. We're learning also, wir reden wegen von wo Yiddish ist gekommen. History von Yiddish.
Und von wo ist Yiddish gekommen?
Sie gekommen von 100 Jahren zurück, Habibi.
Ja.
Sure. Alle größten Geinen und Sadikim haben geredet Yiddish von über 100 Jahren zurück. Aber das ist basically in a nutshell was tut sich ab dort.
Das ist sehr schön.
Sure. Wir haben das sehr lieb. Ich habe ich lieb.
Et ils apprennent et discutent également de l'histoire de la langue,
You think you could challenge him to a word in Yiddish that you don't think he knows?
qui, comme dit le Rebbe, change radicalement d'un contexte social à l'autre. Par exemple, comme la différence entre le Yiddish qu'ils apprennent au Shir, le Yiddish Lubavitch, ou la langue qu'il a appris chez lui.
Ich weiß zwei Yiddish. Ich kenne die Loschen, die Sprache, was uns Lubavitch reden, und danach die ungarische Sprache. Ich sage so, und geht morgen nach Mr. Besenko, und sein anderes hat Yiddish, ist ein Yiddish, was in Wilhelmsburg in Bordepark redet als ein Yiddish. Verstehst du, was ich sage? Es jene Yiddish rede ich als Kind, man sei der gewähne Polische, und meine Mama fliegt zu uns reden Polish-Yiddish. Und danach in Yeshiva habe ich rausgelernt reden der andere Yiddish. Verstehst?
Verstehe.
But there's a Yiddish what you don't really hear everyday people speaking. You know what I'm saying? There's the real Yiddish, it's a whole different language.
Ja.
Ein Brochten nach rausgehen und sehen die Sterne, wie sie scheinen. It's a whole different Sprach.
So you teach the sort of Klal Sprach?
This is the regular Yiddish, yeah. Each one says a We make photostats of a sikha, and each one says, and we have a bite also, and we have a good time.
C'est la fin de la soirée.
Drei größte Chazanim in ganz Kanada.
Je retrouve le chazan
Don't push it.
Shmully Blesofsky.
One of the biggest cantors in Crown Heights. Not sure if that's
Three top, not no, that's top three. That's a big deal, you know.
I'm not sure if it's an insult or a compliment, but I appreciate it either way. Thank you. Yeah. Soon maybe in Bed-Stuy also. You never know with Bushwick. I was always the best cousin in Bushwick. Baglilas. Yeah. Anyway. Awesome. Yeah. So there's another party a block and a half away.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll follow you there.
Oh, you guys want to go? Like now?
What's that?
Okay.
What's that?
Albane aki einenu imeyano lehinacheim Albane aki einenu. Go ahead.
Right. Oh, I was there.
Which way is going? Nikoi leberamani.
Shmully, this song?
Absolutely.
So why don't you sing along? Like you to officially
The
run it.
weather is pretty nice right now.
Yeah.
So let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I hear that. Anyway, that's it. I'm making the sing here.
That's
or-
impressive. That's beautiful.
Thank you. It was
That's
really nice.
absolutely
Let me tell you how
beautiful.
nice it was. Like when I started singing, it's like the way. Just it's not. Hold on. Let me explain this.
It's artistic. It's not like the way you want to do chazanut or anything. It's just like artistic.
Whatever you say, I'm gonna have to top. It's not only artistic.
No. You bought it already.
Guys.
Yeah.
Soup? Want soup?
Oh wow, there's soup. Yeah. Oh, yeah. First of all, here. Thank you. It's the worst guitar I've ever had in my life.
Hey.
Anyway, the Ktsoy says that what does that mean? What we said earlier about MS, the Ktsoy says means Torah. So God gave over the ability to define truth, meaning the Torah, to people. So I think it's a step further. MS really means reality. MS doesn't mean truth. It means reality. Truth itself, the main philosophical definition of truth is correspondence to reality. So MS really means reality. And the Rambam says, Hashem Elokim MS, God is the only MS, because he's the thing that everything else is a contingent reality. So MS really means reality. So essentially, according to one pshat in the Medrash, God gave over the ability to establish reality to human beings, and that's why, the world is able to exist, because reality is not objective; it's a subjective. And the other medrash seems to say that no, there's no, it's an irreconcilable conflict, and whatever. So I believe these two approaches is really the disagreement between the school of Shammai and the school of Hillel. There's a very famous machlokes Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel about when you have a wedding and you want to dance in front of the kala. So Beis Shammai says you got to say as it is. The kala, you got to describe her. If she's pretty, she's pretty. If she's ugly, she's ugly. You don't actually say, you don't sugarcoat it. And Beis Hillel says, no, you always say kala nova chasuda. You always say she's pretty and she's like a good person. So I think the underlying argument is whether or not subjective reality is true or not. So according to Beis Hillel, the fact that the guy himself thinks that she's pretty and she's kind, so therefore you can treat that as an objective reality. And Beis Shammai doesn't believe in that. Forget about whatever, So there's Beis Shammai was an absolute objective-based approach. If you know a lot about Beis Shammai, everything that they believed in was intellectual, getting to. So, according to Beis Shammai, they say that what's more important is Shemayim, and therefore they say that Shemayim was created first, and the Aretz is only a secondary thing. It's like to support the Shemayim. But Beis Hillel says that the Eretz was created first because that's the purpose. So according to Beis Shammai, the real purpose is to get out of this world, because in this world everything is like, not being able to get to the objective reality. But according to Beis Hillel, the subjective has its own purpose, and that's so whatever.
So we did that would be, that's too thick. That's fake. That so let's start a little bit softer. Shochein b'meromim Hamitzim nuchal nechona Tachas Kanefei Asheri Elo B'malos Kedoshim Mitaharim Kizoar Arakia Vazirim Lesen Yishema
Tates, Mames streben, sehr Kinder euch zu geben, weil das ist die größte Freude bei sie. Und als Gott helft sie sehen, unter der Gruppe das Kind stehen, geht der Tate zu der Klezmer a geschrei. Nu lo mir alle tanzen, it's der Duet, Kille a Freilach. Kille, nu, geher hop, 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 hop. Das ganze Leben hat der Welt die Bobkille. Nu, lo mir gehen a Tanzel, wie lang es los sich noch. Ai, 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 geht, doch das so geht. Lo mir alle tanzen, du in der Rhythm. Ai, 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 geht, doch das so geht. Mädel nehmen a Bocher en tanz mit ihm. Nu, lo mir alle tanzen, jetzt stell du Hopkille. Freilach Hopkille. Nu, geher hop, 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 hop. Das ganze Leben hat der Welt nie Bobkille. Das ganze Leben ist doch nicht mehr wie a Tanz.